This video is on factorising and it follows nicely from expanding brackets. It's basically the opposite process of expanding brackets. So with expanding brackets we take the term out the front and we multiply it by the terms inside the bracket, but with factorising we put the bracket back in. So an example of a question would be something like this. Just grab my pen. Where there are no brackets. Okay, with an expanding question the first thing you see is a term like 4a, and then you see brackets. Okay, with a factorising question there will be no brackets, and it'll ask you to factorise. That means factorise fully. So in our last video on finding the highest common factor, we talked about you must find the highest common factor, not a common factor, but the largest common factor to both the terms, or if there's more than two terms, to all the terms. So let's have a look at this example. So what we need to set up every time is we're going to take something out the front and we're going to put the brackets in. So I have a 12 and a 3. And I straight away know that the biggest number that can go into 12 and 3 is 3. We can't take the 12. 12 can't go into 3. It's too big. And then I'm looking at variables. The common variable, I've got a G and a G. I don't have an H in both terms. That means I can only take out the G. Then I can put in, you don't have to put it in, but I put it in for now as a reminder that we are multiplying. So I need to think about 3G times what will give me 12G. Well, the G's already out the front, so I need a 4. 3 4s are 12. So quickly checking, 3G times 4, yes, that's 12G, check. 3G times what gives me positive 3GH. Well, if this term is positive and I want to stay positive, I need a plus. And I've already taken out the 3 and the G, so I only need an H. 3G times H is 3GH. Check. Example 2. Let's set up our little shell or our structure for the factorising. I need a line, I need brackets. It's the first thing I write down. Then I begin to think about how to fill them up. I've got 15 and 20, or positive 20. So the highest common factor of 15 and positive 20 is 5. And then I've got m squared and m to the 5. And I hope you remember from our last video how we talked about when you've got multiple power, if you've got powers of a variable, so m squared, m to the 5, m to the 10, m to the 7, m to the 6, those sorts of things, you must go with the lower power. I'm going to go through y just once more so it's nice and clear. M squared is m times m. M to the 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4. Hope you can read my m's. One more, and my time signs. 5. Okay. So if I look at what's common in terms of m's, I've got one m in both of them. I've got a second m in both. I don't have any more common m's. So you can see that the m squared sits inside m to the 5. So I can take out the m squared. It is the highest common factor of m squared and m to the 5. Now I need to think about my multiplying. 5 times what will give me 15? 3. I've already taken out the m squared over here, so I don't need any more variables in my first term. The second term is positive, so in order to keep it positive, I put a plus. 5 times 4 is 20, and m squared, well over here I can see that if I have m squared, then I have another m times m times m to make m to the 5, so that's m cubed. And just remember, when we are multiplying, m squared, my highlighter, m squared times m cubed, we add the powers. That's another quick way of remembering what do I need. If I've got a squared, I need a 3, so that when I add them, I get m to the 5. Always do your check. I should see, or you should be able to tell me that, yes, I checked my I expanded the brackets and multiplied them out when I finished factorising just to make sure they were correct. That means you really shouldn't get a factorising question wrong if you always do a check. All right. This is very important. Okay, it's sort of like a new piece of information for year 8, I'd say especially. If both terms are negative, you must take out the minus sign. Okay, if both the terms are negative, we must pull out a minus sign straight away. That's just a rule that we can, basically it's saying that if it's common to both the terms, then yes, it should come out the front. We have said that we're looking for the highest common factor. So if minuses are common to both terms, then yes, take that minus out. Here I've got a 7 and a 1. So the highest common factor of 7 and 1, well, that's just 1. I'm not going to write 1 because in algebra, 1 is really an imaginary number. So I'm going to move on to the variables of p and p to the 4, and I'm going to go for the lower one because I know that p sits inside p to the 4. I'm going to take out a p. Now I need to multiply. I've got the minus out the front already. I've got the p out the front. So really you can see that what I need is the 7. So 7 times p is 7p, and with that minus makes minus 7p. Here we need to think about if I have a minus, and I want the term to stay negative, what do I need? Well, if it's minus, if I put another minus there, it'll make it positive. So I need a plus sign to keep the term negative. P to the 4 is what I need. Okay, we know that p to the 4 is p times p cubed. That's right, because we're going to add the powers there. So, bear with me. So if I've taken this p over here, that p is now at the front. What do I put over here so that I get p to the 4? Well, I can see it's here. Okay, I can put the p cubed in the brackets so that p times p cubed gives me p to the power of 4 over here. And that's the end. Let's have a look at this last example. I'm actually going to change it. If it was minus and minus, I would definitely take out the minus, but I'm actually going to change that to a plus just to make it slightly different to the last example. So we will take out the minus. It's actually optional. If the terms are opposite in sign, you don't have to take out the minus, but it's in the first term. I'm actually going to take it out. So the highest common factor of 30 and 10 is 10. I'm going to take out the 10. I've got to put my brackets out. Then I'm going to look for common letters. Well, I've got a C and a C, so I can definitely take the C out. And then I've got U and U cubed, and I'm going to go for the lower power. So U instead of U cubed, I can take out the front. So now I've got U and C both out the front of my brackets and the minus, so I just need to think about 10 times what makes 30. Well, 10 times 3 is 30. If there is a minus sign out the front and I want the second term to be positive, what do I need to add to a minus to make it positive? Another minus. I've already got the 10 out the front, so I don't have to worry about the 10. It's already here. I've got the C at the front as well, so it's just the U cubed. Okay, U times what makes U cubed? Well, remember, we add the powers when we're multiplying. So if I've got 1 over here, you don't have to write the 1, but if I've got 1 there, then I would need a U squared to make this cubed. Okay, always do your little check. Minus 10 CU times 3. Well, minus 10 times 3 is minus 30. And then we've got the CU or the UC. Check. A negative and a negative makes a positive. So I've got the positive 10 times CU squared. 10 CU times U squared. Well, I got the 10. The C I've got. And the U over here times the U squared gives me U cubed. Check. Okay, so there's a lot, as the questions get harder, there's certainly a lot of things you need to check. I'd rather you go slowly and get it right than rush and leave out the terms and the signs are wrong and things like that. So please go slowly with these questions and always check and expand your brackets when you're finished so you know that you factorize correctly. We are looking for the highest common factor out the front, not any common factor, but the highest. So be careful that, with 30 and 10, some students might take out 5, some students might take out 2. You must take out the 10. You must come up with the biggest number and also the variables, the highest common factor in terms of the variables that can go out the front of the brackets.